So how is Pat Withrow going to make a difference? Well, these are a few of the things that we know that are going on. And of course, we don't know what we don't know. So until we step into office in January, I'm sure we're going to find a lot of other stuff. But I can tell you what we're going to do with the stuff we do know. Let's start with the jail. Our jail has had 337 escapes under Sheriff Moore's reign so far, and he's done nothing to curb that. Last time we ran against him, we at least got him to close the front gate. I know that sounds silly, but he didn't even have the front gate closed so inmates could walk out, get into cars, and drive away. His response to that is, oh, they're just low-level inmates. Well, that's not true anymore. We have AB 109 that brings state-level inmates. They're housed at our jail, and they're very dangerous people who should have been in state prison, but now they're at the county level. And we need to make sure that we secure that facility so that there is a price to pay when the people victimize the citizens of San Joaquin County. So we got him to close the gate, and then he spent $300,000 of taxpayer money putting up these little fences that clearly are not stopping the inmates from escaping. We just had 3 more in the past few months escape out of the Honor Farm. There's no reason for this. We're going to aggressively go in, change the configuration of the fencing, double the fencing, and then we have to modernize the Honor Farm. If you can believe it or not, we still do not have motion lights out on our fences out in the Honor Farm. Something as simple as that. We don't have any cameras at the Honor Farm so that our custodial staff, the custody officers, would know if someone was approaching the fence line. We don't have any of this modern technology to help assist the correctional officers and help keep them safe and help secure the public around the Honor Farm to keep these people secured and paying a price for victimizing our citizens. So clearly we need to secure the Honor Farm and make sure that there's a price to pay for victimizing our citizens. But if we think we're going to arrest our way out of this situation, if we're going to arrest our way out of being number 6 in the nation in violent crime at our county seat, then we're wrong. You know, once we have these inmates secure in our jail facility, we need to do something. We need to offer something to give them a chance to get out of this lifestyle of crime. And that's where I want to start an apprentice program at our Honor Farm. Instead of, as this sheriff, every time he's run for elected office, this is his 4th time, he's done 12 years, he wants to do 16, he's saying he's going to build a new jail. Every time he's run, he said he's going to build a new jail, and every time he has not. Well, instead of building a new jail, why don't we just work with what we have there? We have vacant buildings that we can use for housing inmates. We have other facilities that he wants to put homeless people in, which is the worst idea ever to introduce a homeless population at the jail facility. You talk about contraband coming in. We're not going to use that for homeless people. We're going to use it for inmates. Again, there's a price to pay for victimizing our citizens. But once we have them there and secure and they have to stay, let's not just let them sit there. Let's offer them the opportunity to learn a trade, a skill, before they go back out into public so that they have an opportunity to actually get a job, to actually get out of this life of crime. Now, are we going to fix all of them? Absolutely not. You know, there's always going to be that percentage that no matter what we do, they're going to stay in this life of crime, and that's where we're going to be very aggressive out on the streets and make sure that they pay a price and know that if you come to San Joaquin County and victimize our citizens, there's going to be a price to pay. But for those others who don't have the family support like we were blessed with when we grew up, then we need to give them the support they need to try and learn a skill. Let's say framing or electrical or driving a forklift or the culinary arts or anything like that, roofing, that when they come out of our apprentice program and out of the jail, we're putting them back out into society with at least some skills where they could go get a decent paying job so that they don't have to break into our cars and victimize our families again. So we need to get back into that. We used to have an auto body shop and an upholstery shop and small engine repair and fiber optic cable training, but those were all taken away by Sheriff Moore, and they no longer exist there. So we need to make sure we get back into teaching these guys that, hey, or gals, that there's a way out of this. You do not have to go down this life of crime. So we're going to take back our jail, and we're going to try and fix the ones that we can while we're in there. The other thing we need to do, we need to get back into our schools. You know, we have 4 school resource officers for the entire county. That's just unacceptable. We all see what's happening in our schools today. We all see another generation going down this path of gangs and violence and drugs, and yet we only have 4 school resource officers for the entire county. That's unacceptable. So we're going to reinvest into our schools and our children and let them know that, one, cops aren't the bad guys. We're going to let them see that they can interact with officers at the school, not in a criminal way where we are trying to bust them for something, but in a way where the service side of law enforcement, where we're there to let them get to know us, that let them know that we care, that we're a resource for them to not go down that path of gangs and drugs, that they can reach out to us and say, hey, there's a problem at home. Dad lost his job, or we don't have any electricity, or the power and the water's been turned off. And we can be that tip of the spear that helps them, that reaches out to either state or local agencies, nonprofits, to get them the help they need to get out of that cycle at home so they can concentrate on school and become successful and either go on to college or into the trades themselves if they don't want to go on to college. So we're going to secure the honor farm, and we're going to make sure that our schools are safe. The other thing we have to do, we have to get back into the law enforcement business. Right now, we are allotted on our patrol 124 positions by the Board of Supervisors. They give us the money to fund those positions, and we have the staffing to fill that, but we don't. At this time, right now, we have 67 full-time officers out on the street in just regular patrol. That's exactly 1/2 of what we should have out there. The rest are all in specialty units. You know, whether it's the community car program, which I am going to keep, and not only keep the community car program, but I'm going to put the community car program on steroids. So instead of having, you know, an officer in a certain beat, in a certain area of town from 8 to 6, how about we have officers 24/7, 365 days a year in those beats that are all trained the same, that are trained like the community officers, that are out involved in their community. So we are not getting rid of those cars, we're adding to those cars. So we're going to take all these people out of these specialty units and that the sheriff has taken over, like he's taken on all these extra duties like the animal control and the airport and county office building security and county park security. And all those bodies were pulled from patrol and not refilled. So every night we go out with 4 to 6 guys on our graveyard patrol shift for the whole county. And then there is mandatory overtime that they're held over from day shift or swing shift to help cover these positions. And our guys are exhausted, and that's just dangerous. So we're going to refill those positions and make sure that we staff it and we have people out there aggressively going after bad guys. Because if we're gonna turn this around, which we are, we need to have guys that are being proactive, not just reactive. Right now, our poor 67 guys out there who are handling cases, all they are doing is running from call to call. And that means people have already been victimized, and now they're just going to take a report. And then they ship that up to detectives who are just swamped, and it sits in a pile and nobody investigates it, or they don't have time to investigate the minor crimes, the lower just theft type of crimes, and you get no justice for being victimized. So we're going to turn that around and be very proactive on the streets. We're going to be aggressive towards bad guys. If people are on probation and parole, we're going to get back into the business of doing probation and parole searches at their houses. How about we go and find the guns and the drugs before they go out and victimize people, before they go out and shoot and kill our friends and neighbors. So we'll be aggressive out there. We're going to get into our community and get out of our cars. And so guys who will be assigned to their beats, it's going to be good old-fashioned law enforcement. They're going to get out of their cars. They're going to get to know their business owners. They're going to get to know their citizens that live in their area. So when they see somebody that's out of the normal there, then they can stop and make contact with it. If it's just a good person that's in the area, then we've made a new friend. If it's a bad guy, then he knows that we're watching him, and we can run him for warrants and find out, and we can stop him before they burglarize and victimize our citizens again. So these are a few of the things that we need to do to make sure that we're in our community making a difference. Now, the other part where we're getting hammered is rural crime. Our poor farmers who are out there, they come out every day wondering, is the wire in my pump going to be there? Are my pipes going to be there, or have they been stolen for scrap metal? Is my tractor or my truck, is it going to be there? And last time I forced Sheriff Moore to reinstate the Ag Crimes Unit. I spoke in front of the Farm Bureau and told them there's no reason you shouldn't have an Ag Crimes Unit. And they argued with me. They said, no, Sheriff Moore says that they cut the funding for that and they couldn't afford it. So they went years without a Ag Crimes Unit until I said, look, you're telling me the Sheriff of San Joaquin County can't reallocate people and make an Ag Crimes Unit out there to protect our farmers? And they finally realized it, and they went to the sheriff and demanded it, and he immediately, 2 weeks later, reinstituted the Ag Crimes Unit. So I'm not going to leave our farmers out hanging like that. I'm not going to lie to them like Sheriff Moore did. So I'm going to make sure that we beef up our Ag Crimes Unit and that they work with all the surrounding agency, because bad guys don't know boundaries. The other day on the radio, Sheriff Moore said, you know, the county really doesn't have a gang problem. The gang members are in Stockton. And that just shows how out of touch he is. That's online. You can go online and watch him say that. So he is so out of touch that he thinks we don't have a gang problem because they live in the city. Well, that's wrong. First of all, we do have a lot of gang members out in the county. And two, bad guys don't know boundaries. So the gang problems in Tracy and Manteca and Stockton and Lodi affect all of us. This is our entire community. So we need to work together with all the other law enforcement agencies, and that's why they have come out and endorsed me and not the current sheriff, because they know that I will get back in the game and that we will work closely, that we will share resources and we will share information to make sure that we throw this blanket over San Joaquin County to make sure everybody's safe, not just little pockets of it. Because our weakest link is where the criminals are they're gonna hide there, they're gonna work there, and then they're gonna spread out into the county and victimize our farmers and our ranchers and our citizens every single day. So we're gonna work with all these other police agencies, and we're gonna make sure that we're, again, sharing information and resources, working on different types of coordinated units that go after these bad folks and make sure that they know that we're watching them and that San Joaquin County is not a place where it's easy to commit crime. So that's kind of my plan for San Joaquin County. Again, we don't know what we don't know, but we're going to have 6 months in between the time that I'm elected on June 5th till I take office in January. And we're going to take that time and we're going to start formulating our plan for every division of our department. And we're going to take the top 2 or 3 priorities for each one of those divisions. Let's say detectives, and then we break it down into homicide and property and CASA, all these areas. Each one of those they're going to have their top 2 priorities or 3 priorities that we need to fix immediately, that we need to turn around to make them more effective, to make sure that they are working on what they need to protect our citizens. So we will meet with the leaders of all these different divisions, and we will set out our plan. We call it a performance improvement plan. And we will do that with each one of the leadership of this. And one, I will give control and power back to the leaderships of each one of those, the captains, the lieutenants, and the sergeants, so that they can make the decisions and follow the plan or the guidelines that I have set in the direction that I want them to go. But they can make those improvements themselves. So it doesn't have to go through chains of command and take months to make a decision. You empower the people that you put in these positions to make their decisions and to correct the problems in their area. So we will do that in each area of our department, whether it's at the courts or out on boats or in detectives or obviously in the coroner's division. We hope that soon the Board of Supervisors will separate the coroner's division from our department. Clearly what has come to light is that with Dr. Amalo's and Dr. Parsons' courage, that they've shown the problem there. And we cannot have bias or anyone messing with the facts of the case. The public has to know that in San Joaquin County, when there is an investigation, whether it's into a violent type death or it's just a death where somebody has passed away from old age or sickness, that they are getting a fair and accurate investigation into their loved one's death. So I am a firm believer that we should have an independent medical examiner's office that is separate from law enforcement, without undue influence, without some corrupt sheriff trying to change their investigation. and they're able to do this, and the people of San Joaquin County will be confident in their investigations. I'm blessed to know that Dr. Amalo has come out and said that if Pat Withrow wins as sheriff this time around, he'd be more than happy to come back and help San Joaquin County either form the new medical examiner's office or whatever they need to help them separate this and make it a legitimate, accurate medical examiner's office for these death investigations. So we're going to make sure that San Joaquin County gets the protection and the security that they need. They're going to get the service that they need, that they should have been getting. And we're going to make sure that we're no longer number 6th in the nation in violent crime in our county seat. We're going to make San Joaquin County a place where business wants to come, where they want to bring jobs, where they want to bring their employees because they know it's safe. It's right here in the Central Valley, centrally located in California, this jewel that we have sitting there, that the business will want to come here because we have the freeways here, we have the port, we're just an hour or so from major airports. So this should be a place business wants to come, but they won't until we make it safe. And the only way we do that is by working together with our partners and all the other police agencies here in the county and the top law enforcement official, making sure that the top priority is our citizens' safety. So I'm the man to do that. That's a little bit of my plan on what we're going to do. I hope this helps inform you of what's coming here in San Joaquin County. And if you have any further questions, please call me. My cell phone is on the website there. My website is www.WithrowPart2.com. Please look there. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat. And if you have any further questions, please contact us, and we're more than happy to answer those. So again, the vote is on June 5th. That's when it's over. We need you to make a difference in our community, get involved, and tell the current sheriff that we're done with this type of corruption and we need someone new. And that person new is Pat Withrow. So please, on June 5th, vote for Pat Withrow for sheriff. Thank you very much for your time.